Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Chinezeslife. So in today's video, I kind of wanted to discuss body goals and what that means to me and kind of like how my body has transformed in so many ways over the years. It's literally crazy looking back at it because a lot of the times like you can either think that you're too skinny or you're too big, and then you look back on pictures and you'll be like, what was I thinking? I have those moments so often. Like literally, if you guys had watched my last video, I inserted some clips of me, some photos of me from high school, and I just looked at those pictures. I'm like, that was me? Really? I don't really remember ever being that weight. And also in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a chit chat get ready with me. I'm not going anywhere. As you guys know, we are in this quarantine period. However, I did get a new eyeshadow palette a few weeks ago, as well as a new tinted moisturizer and a few other products that I just wanted to show you guys on camera. And I also haven't really had a chance to use them, so I'm like, why not combine the two ideas and bring this video to you guys. Something that I saw on Twitter recently is that you should apply your primer, well, moisturizer first and then primer, and then you should put powder over. And I was just like, I never do that, so I'm gonna try that out today. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So for primer, you guys know that I always use NYX, what is it called? NYX Shine Killer, so that's always my go-to. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply primer to kind of my whole face and get started. So if you guys see me like looking in that direction, it's because my mirror is right here. So, you know, I gotta see what I'm doing. So growing up, I feel like I was always bigger than my peers. And I feel like at first it didn't really bother me, especially when you're like a kid. Like a lot of the times kids aren't really worried about like what other people are thinking, or like they're not too self-conscious. And then obviously I'm not saying that you can't be self-conscious and different things like that as a kid, but I just know for me growing up, like even though like I was bigger than most kids, like I don't believe that I was like ever bullied for that, and I never really felt bad about being bigger. In fact, I literally like loved to eat. I still do, but now I obviously see what it can do to me. Also guys, this is the ColourPop hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer, and I use it in shade 21W, I believe. Yep, deep dark 21W. As a kid, I feel like I definitely was aware that I was, oh wait guys, I'm supposed to put, oh my gosh, good thing I'm wasting product. Let me put the powder on my face. Look at me, getting ahead of myself. So for powder, I use the Sacha Buttercup powder. This bottle has actually been through it, like literally the top is like coming off. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to my face. But what I was saying is that like growing up, like I definitely was aware that I was bigger than most kids. But again, like it didn't bother me. It wasn't really until I got to middle school that I actually kind of started to feel like self-conscious about like how much I was weighing and different things like that. Because especially growing up, like I was the type to like get home from school and like just eat like whatever was in the house, like just make myself dinner. And this was before like my parents would get home. So like I'm eating dinner part one, but the whole thing is like I'm eating like servings of food. Like it's not like I would come home and have a snack. I literally would have like a whole dinner to myself before the actual dinner. So obviously that's an easy way to put on weight when you're having all those extra calories. And it wasn't healthy things either. I'd be eating like hot dogs and just like lots of chips and just different things like that. So I would say that I was kind of the same all throughout middle school as well as far as my bad eating habits. But the only difference was that I had joined the track team when I was in like seventh grade. I joined the track team, and I was also on the cross country team. So that obviously like was able to help give a balance. However, people always say that you can't outwork a bad diet, and that's definitely true. So although I didn't have like issues with like sleeping or like breathing problems or different things like that, I was noticing like as time was going on that I was adding on weight. And all my Nigerians know that, you know, when someone tells you that you've added weight, it's not necessarily a good thing. It's more of a noticeable like, I see that you're weighing more now. So the first time that I can remember actually losing weight was probably in high school, definitely. And I was on a track team in high school as well. And I definitely started to like challenge myself more and just to actually be healthier as well. But I distinctively, well, I don't distinctively remember, but I do have a picture, hopefully I can find it, that shows one summer, I believe it was my sophomore year into my junior year, or basically just like over the course of like a year or a year and a half or so, I was able to lose like 20 pounds. And that was a lot for me, like to actually like stick with the journey and to like actually like be committed to my health. Like this was the first time that I had done so. The first time that I had actually like actively lost weight without like or with trying rather, versus like it randomly happening. So that was something really cool for me, and it was definitely a boost as well, just in my health journey and even leading into where I am today, because that was kind of like the first time that I actually was like, all right, like clearly you can't be complaining and then not like put in the work also, you know? And I remember I used to do like insanity workouts. Like this is on top of being on the track team. I used to come home and do like insanity workouts. And then I would also, drink. I would bring my lunch to school. I would bring my lemon water. My water literally used to be like a yellowish color, and everyone in high school would just know like, oh yeah, she's just drinking her lemon water. So definitely I changed my diet, and I started to just kind of eat like when I was actually hungry versus eating just to eat. And guys, now I'm applying the ColourPop moisturizer, tinted moisturizer, and it doesn't want to work for me. What's going on? So yeah, so definitely like being on the track team and doing those extra workouts was able to keep my weight down and even to help me lose weight. Because let me tell you guys, like when I'm determined to lose weight, like I'm determined, like it's gonna happen. So that was something that I took very seriously. Like literally, once it was my senior year of high school, I knew that like prom was coming up. I knew that like spring break was coming up. And my spring break, or in my school rather, it was like tradition for the seniors of like whatever graduating class to go to the Bahamas, and like everyone would like post like pictures to Facebook, and like basically like if you're going, you're gonna be seen, and if you're seen, you need to have that like beach body on like 100. So like I was determined, like once I knew that it was gonna be like in a couple of months, I was like, listen, like this body is by force, like I gotta do something, I gotta switch it up. So I literally went on like hyperdrive and was able to lose so much weight, and like literally came to the Bahamas looking like so skinny. I remember even by the time it was time for me to graduate, like I had lost even more weight, and I was headed to college being the lowest weight that I can at least remember being, which at that time was 148 pounds. Like, and I specifically remember it being 148 pounds because I was like, listen, like this is less than 150. And you know, once you like reach at that time, 150 was my goal. So it's like when you're anything less than your goal, like you know, like every pound counts. Like I was literally so hyped to be like, I took a picture of the scale saying 148 just because I was so proud of myself. I was like, wow. So when I got to college, I definitely maintained my weight for the most part, at least within like the first year or so. I know people usually like say like, oh, like be careful, watch out for the freshman 15. But I actually basically stayed within the same weight. If anything, I probably added like 5 pounds, 10 max, but I think it was definitely like 5 pounds. But the only thing is that my workout schedule like vanished. Like I remember I worked out like probably, I want to say like 10 times in total, honestly. Like I used to be so consistent because again, in high school, having like to be on the track team and like actually literally being forced to work out, like you have to go to practice, you have to work out. But being in college, like no one is dragging you to the gym. Like I tried, but I was not consistent. So again, like I would go sometimes, but not all the time. So I feel like that definitely played a role in how things progressed in the coming year or so. Because definitely by my sophomore year, I noticed that I had gained like probably around that 10 pounds, at least from what I came into. So now instead of like being in the low 150s, I was like always like 158, 159, 160. Always around that range. And again, like I still like felt that I looked good, and that's important too. Like I don't want to make this an emphasis on the numbers because that's not what it is. It's very important that to also know that like everyone has different body types. Like what's a healthy weight for one person can be an unhealthy weight for another person. So even like the whole BMI thing, it's like skewed. Like I don't really believe in that, but the main thing is that like every weight is going to look different on every person. It's more so about being healthy, which is what I'm trying to get at. Because my diet was literally like trash. Like you guys know, like living on the college campus, like you have to kind of go out of your way to eat healthy. Because although the things that they had in the dining hall, like of course, like yeah, they had a salad bar, they had this, they had that, but some days you just wanted like the most unhealthy thing that they had. And also like if that's what's being provided, you don't want to go out of your way and go to Walmart and like buy healthy snacks when there's like snacks there for you. Or the snacks that are more accessible, like in the vending machine. No one wants to use their money to buy a granola bar from the vending machine when they could have like a Rice Krispie treat. That was my go-to, by the way. Rice Krispie treats and literally a Dr. Pepper at like 2 a.m. I used to drink like almost every single night my sophomore year. Literally, like I would be laying in bed, and mind you, I was on bunk bed. I would be laying in bed and think to myself like, oh my gosh, like I didn't have a Pop-Tart, or I didn't have a Rice Krispie treat, or I didn't have a soda today, like let me go get one. And it's 2 a.m. Like what was wrong with me? I really don't know. So definitely by my junior year, I was more so around like 170-ish, I wanna say. And again, like I was getting like thick, quote unquote, and I didn't like feel like too different. Like I wasn't huffing and puffing or anything like that. But I was kind of like tired of, I think by the end of my junior year, I was just kind of like tired of not necessarily being in a weight range, or like not feeling my best. And like I think I was just tired of being unhealthy, honestly. And that can always be a struggle, because it's like food is good, like, and especially like when you're surrounded by good food and when you can drive to go get food, like you're just always going to be tempted. But I feel like the biggest thing in losing weight or maintaining a healthy weight is just having 1, portion control, and then 2, self-control. Self-control to, I'm not the type of person to like cut out every single thing. Like I love candy, I love sweets, I love chips, like all that stuff. But what I do is I limit it. So instead of cutting candy out completely, I'll tell myself, okay, you can have candy like once a month. Or instead of cutting fast food out completely, I tell myself like, all right, you could have fast food once a month. Just different things like that. Like every time you go into the kitchen, you literally don't have to pick something up. And I think that was one of my biggest things that I've learned. Like even if you are tempted to pick something up, make sure it's a small portion of something, and make sure that it's healthy too. And keep track of what you're picking up too, because sometimes you literally can just be eating and you're not even hungry. Like you just eat again because you're presented with food. And yeah, that's not okay. Like literally there's no reason that every time you go into the kitchen you should have to eat. Like that's not a way to lose weight, or that's not a healthy way to look at food. Which is why even in my recent or my current journey that I'm on, I'm not really more so focused on weight loss, but more so having a healthy lifestyle. And of course it is hard to not want to check the scale every single day, but I feel like now that I've started kickboxing and having a regular exercise schedule, and then also I did keto for about 2 weeks, I want to say, and that was just too extreme for me. Like I literally had the keto flu. I felt terrible. Like I could not do that. At least I'm not disciplined enough to do that again anytime soon, but it works. So if that's something that you think that you want to challenge yourself to do, I definitely encourage you to at least try a few different things. And especially in getting started, a lot of people do keto at first and then switch to intermittent fasting. With intermittent fasting, like it definitely like helps me to like realize that there's more to life than food. And then when you do finally eat after you break your fast, like you actually appreciate what you're eating that much more. So I would definitely do that again. I actually recently just stopped, like ever since this whole like coronavirus thing. But I was doing pretty good. I did the 16 to 8 fast, which means that you fast for 16 hours of the day and then you only have an 8-hour eating period. I did that for about a week or so, and then I switched to the 18 hours to 6 hours. And then I think I did that for like half a week-ish. And then one day during that time, I mistakenly, or just rather, I think I was just busy. I wasn't able to eat all day, basically. And by the time I checked my fast app, which is basically called Zero, so I'll insert like a little screenshot or something there. But I checked my app and it said that I was ongoing like 21 hours and I didn't even feel hungry. I was just like, oh, really? So I tried to do 20 hours of fasting versus 16. And at first it was fine, like I was doing really good, but then some days like I would get cravings at night, and I noticed I never got cravings when I did it the other way around, like with the 6-hour fast window. So I just realized that like the 4-hour eating window, like it was just too short. So then I went back to the 18 to 6. But now again, like as I said, like that's definitely something I would do again, because it did make me feel like way better. Not only about food, but about myself too. Like I just had more energy and I felt more refreshed. And when I did eat, like it was just more satisfying, more filling. So I set my schedule up so that by the time that I broke my fast, I would be back from kickboxing, and then I would be able to just shower and then eat and then basically like go on about my day. And then by the time that it's time to eat again, it would be like dinner time. And especially, I'm not really a breakfast person, so the intermittent fasting definitely was like easier for me to do. But if you're someone who eats like breakfast every single day, I definitely recommend starting with the 16 hours fast to 8 hours of an eating window. That way you still should be able, depending on the time, let's say if you do like 12, okay, if you do like 10 to 6, like something like that, I think that you should be able to do it. So, and I definitely do like how my face is feeling like after putting on the powder and then putting on the moisturizer. So that's something that I'll definitely incorporate, especially since I have oily skin. Apparently this is supposed to help people with oily skin, so we will see the results at the end. Do I want to put on concealer? I'll put a little bit of concealer on. Guys, I started to contour recently, but I think I'm good off of that, honestly. That's a bit too dramatic for my everyday makeup routine, and also obviously adds more time, so I think I will ditch that. And one thing too is I feel like people think that when you're eating healthy, like it's boring, but like you literally can make like so many new dishes that you never even thought. Or again, like if you do want to continue eating like your greasy foods or your unhealthy foods, you can still have that stuff. Just have it in lesser quantities or less often. Honestly, that's the main thing. Everyone's different. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what to do step by step because you may want to alter it a little, and that's okay. Literally, like that's how my whole fitness journey has been. I think it's okay, and it's definitely okay to realize that, you know, you're not perfect, no one is perfect, but the thing is that you just have to keep on going and don't let yourself get off track for too long. Because it's kind of like when you get off track for too long, and then it's like months can go by and then you stop going to the gym, you stop eating healthy, and suddenly you're wondering why you've gained weight. And it's just kind of like you have to be consistent. Like you have to be consistent, and it's okay if you fall off track, but you know, just give yourself some time, but not too much time. Like basically, like you have to pick yourself back up and be like, all right, like we trying to get this done, like let's do this. And what works for me too is obviously like if you have something to look forward to, or like you have a certain pair of pants, or like something that you like don't fit into anymore that you want to fit into, kind of like having like a goal. Instead of like having a goal weight, it could just be like kind of like wanting to feel a certain way in certain clothes that you used to really like on you. So that definitely works for me too. Because once I notice that, like, you know, my jeans start to feel a little better, or like they start to get easier to put on, I'm just like, oh, like, are you slimming down? Okay, summer body coming through. And even though we're not really sure if we're having a summer, I'm gonna still keep on going anyway because I'm popping out regardless. Even if I'm just in the house, y'all will see the body that I'm currently baking right now. So get it? Baking? Okay. This is the palette that I got, the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's. And basically I wanted this palette only because really it has a pink eyeshadow, as you guys can see. So I think I'm gonna create a look with that because that was the main reason I got this palette again. And Talani actually had it first. She's the one, like I literally wrote her when I was in the store. I was like, what's the palette? What's the Juvia's palette that has the pink shade? Because a few of them had the pink shade, and I'm like, I want the same exact one that you have because I need to create some pink looks, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm not sure what colors I'm gonna use. I think I'm gonna mix like this, kind of like these shades. So I'll probably start off with either Burkina or Fulani as my base. And then, yeah, I'll show you guys as I'm going on. Okay guys, so right now I have Fulani on my eyelids. And I think I'm gonna go in with Zobo, which is that like magenta shade over it. These colors are literally like so stunning. I love it. Guys, look at that color. That is so pretty. As you guys can see, there isn't really any fallout, which is like amazing. Because look how much pigment this has, and the fact that it's not going everywhere is awesome. I feel like this is what I needed as a child because I feel like I don't really play in color as much nowadays, but as a child, like I always wanted these bright colors, and like we used to have those same shades of just like 4 silvery browns, and like that was kind of it. Like that's what worked for our skin, because they used to have the palettes that like had lots of colors, but they were never as pigmented as this. Like it would really only show up on like white skin. I definitely appreciate Juvia's place for like creating a palette that like actually shows up and stands out on dark skin. Literally there's people who are darker than me that I'm sure that they were not able to use like any of those palettes growing up because it would just like look a mess. But now the fact that we have shades that like look good on us and are made like people that look like us too, so they know what they're doing, is definitely a win. So shout out to y'all Juvias. I feel like I'm a Barbie doll. Oh my gosh, I literally love this like purple shade that's in here too. I kind of want to use it at the end. Oh yep, this is it. Wow. This is such a pretty shade. Yep. This is what I've been waiting for. And then since my eyeshadow look is so bold, I'm definitely gonna just have like a nude lip, which is also what I kind of wanted to show you guys because I did get a new lip gloss from ColourPop. And guys, I'm definitely gonna put eyeshadow on at the bottom because it looks really good right now. Also guys, I started watching Euphoria. I feel like this makeup is definitely like Euphoria vibes, just saying. What's funny is I usually like just add the show name like when I'm watching it, and the Twitter account literally like always responds to me. And also guys, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, definitely make sure to follow me on Twitter. Like I literally post on there like every day. And also guys, eyeliner is one of those things that kind of ties right into with the eyelashes. I feel like when I tried to add both of them, especially both at the same time, it's just a hot mess. So we're not gonna do that today, but we're gonna go ahead and put some blush on and then a little bit of highlight. And this is the NYX Born to Glow. Oh boy, I just put way too much. I put a lot, but I feel like, you know, with the look that I have going on right now, it's appropriate. Alright guys, so lastly, I'm going to use a NYX lip liner and then put on the lip gloss from ColourPop. Alright, so now I'm going to put on the ColourPop So Juicy lip gloss. Guys, and it has like menthol or whatever, so it makes your lips feel like so good. It's literally like the perfect consistency you could think of for lip gloss. Like not too sticky, not too heavy feeling. I believe it was $6, but for me it was worth it because I don't even wear gloss every day. Especially now that I'm not leaving the house, like I wouldn't waste lip gloss and just be in the house. I'd wear just like chapstick. So I think it's definitely worth it and it definitely is affordable. Alright guys, and I do want to wear a scarf on my head, not this scarf, but like tie a scarf because I want to take pictures after this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and just make sure that my makeup looks right, so please hold. Alright guys, so as you can see, I am back and I have the scarf on my head, which obviously gave it more oomph. Especially with this look, I feel like I'm like some psychic reader right now, like, no? Okay, anyways, something else that I noticed in the bathroom, I was like, wait a minute, something's missing, and I realized I didn't put on any mascara, which is also a new product that I got, which is the Fenty Beauty Mascara. I don't know if it has a name. The full frontal mascara. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that and then spray my face and I will be done. Literally this mascara is like the best mascara I've ever used. Period. Oh yeah, that definitely made a difference because I'm like, something looks weird. And especially since I don't wear eyeliner that often, mascara definitely makes like a huge difference in my makeup. Okay guys, the last step is spraying down my face, and that is with the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. That's like literally my favorite part about doing my makeup because at the end I'm just like looking like, yes, like I did that. Things I did, that. And then I get to like look in the mirror and be like, wow, okay. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I just want to end it by saying no matter what shape or size or weight or height or whatever that you are, your body is always going to change as time goes on. And the most important thing to keep in mind on whether it's your weight loss journey or your eating healthy journey or your working out journey or whatever journey you want to classify it as, is just to remember that, again, like you're like fearfully and wonderfully made, and that like you definitely can accomplish the things that you set your mind out to. I know how hard it can be, especially when it comes to food, because let's admit it, like food can be so good. But just know that, you know, you definitely have the ability to have the willpower and to have the strength and to have the determination to be able to accomplish whatever it is that you want to set as your body goals. And I think that's the most important takeaway, is just to know that your body goals should always be different from someone else's, because we all have different backgrounds, we all have different family history. Some people naturally have a faster metabolism and can eat everything in the world, and some people can't. I'm one of those people who can't. And once I realized that I couldn't eat like everyone else. I couldn't not work out for as long as everyone else. You have to find what works for you, and you have to realize that there's like beauty in your uniqueness too. So definitely, like, whether it's like me, like how I tried keto and then I did intermittent fasting and then now I'm back to regular eating, I think it's definitely good to be able to just try out a whole bunch of different things. You may try, you may fail it, you may try it and love it, but you'll never know until you try. And that's just something that I feel like I follow just in everyday life. Like, you literally never know like how far you can go with something until you just start one day. So again, if you fall off, know that you can pick yourself back up and know that you're able to do this. But yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some pictures now because I'm proud of this beat that I just accomplished. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.